What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So it looks like Jasmine Crockett's days in Congress are numbered after joining in with the radical left's mockery of the Charlie Kirk tragedy, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony, for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate. They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with a family friend who is a retired deputy sheriff. At Robinson's father's request, the family friend met with Robinson and his parents and convinced Robinson to turn himself in. The family friend spoke to police and reported telling Robinson that it would be best if he brought all evidence with him to the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. The friend also asked Robinson if he had any clothes that were related to what he did. Robinson replied that he had disposed of it. Why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson again, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints.
All right, folks, so we're seeing new details emerging in the Charlie Kirk case, with the DA's office now announcing their intent to seek the death penalty, alongside text message exchanges between Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend being released to the public. Meanwhile, we've got that Representative Jasmine Crockett absolutely spiraling out of control over there on CNN.
So I'd like to ask you to respond to critics who have pointed the finger at Democrats who have used phrases like fascist or Hitler, made comparisons to those things over time. Do you think that that's contributed to this, or are those critics wrong?
They're absolutely wrong. Here's the reality. They don't want American people to know any forms of history. We know that there was news out today about the president going after yet more historical information. The reality is that when we look at what is taking place, when you look at an authoritarian, and what they do is they try to basically say, you have to do whatever the government says, even if that means that your personal freedoms are going to be subjected to whatever we say, whether it's right or wrong. Right now, our personal freedoms are constantly under attack. Your first question was specifically about our First Amendment rights. Right now, it is about doing whatever the man who currently occupies the White House wants done. There should not be anyone that faces consequences because they actually know history, and they are trying to prevent even more disaster and harm from coming to the American people. What crosses the line is when you say things, especially on air, like, yes, euthanize homeless people. That is a problem. Or when you're having a rally and you start talking about beating up people and causing physical harm. Or when you joke about what happened to Mr. Pelosi when he was attacked. Or when you decide that there are over 1,500 people that were charged and convicted, whether it was in a trial or they signed plea agreements after beating law enforcement and tearing apart our Capitol, and you decide to let them go free. It seems like violence is okay if it is only because the man that is currently serving in the White House asked for it, even when we look at ICE officers and what they are doing to those that are accused of violating our law. That is what they think violence is okay for. But then when it ends up happening and it comes back on the other side, they claim that it's because of the Democrats and them using words like fascist.
Congresswoman, we've heard the president say that he basically thinks that the political violence problem on the left is worse than the political violence problem on the right. Do you think the political violence problem on the right is worse than what it is on the left?
it's a false comparison in the first place. And I think we should have a leader that is responsible enough to denounce political violence, period. It's not about where it comes from. It's about the fact that it is happening. It is never okay. It is never okay if it happens on the left. It is never okay if it happens on the right. And if we had someone that knew how to be an adult in the room, he would say that. But when we look at it, please tell me who is fostering this gun culture, right? I mean, the reality is that the average person on the left probably couldn't make a shot from 200 yards because they haven't been playing with assault rifles since they were a little kid. Like, that is just the reality of how people on the left typically work. And if we believe that political violence is a problem in this country, if we believe that our children on campuses, just because they want to go out and have a day of free speech on campus, may be subjected to this kind of violence, then maybe we need to start talking about legislation that will keep these types of weapons out of certain people's hands. Now, whether or not this gentleman would have qualified under any type of laws that many of the Democrats have proposed, I don't know. But the reality is that they typically want to say it's somebody with a mental health problem. Well, maybe red flag laws would be helpful in those circumstances. The reality is that we are elected to, at a very minimum, try to do mitigation and try to make sure that everyone, whether they are left, right, in the middle, or non-affiliated, can express their views without this idea that they may be subjected to violence, which a lot of it could actually be prevented.
And we've seen this time in and time out. The Democrats simply do not know how to admit when they are wrong, and it is sad to see. And we even have top-level Democratic leadership attempting to come out and cover up for Jasmine Crockett's inflammatory rhetoric.
Democrats have come under criticism for labeling Republicans as fascists and Nazis following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, with some arguing that such inflammatory rhetoric is spurring political violence. Where do you stand on this issue? For example, should Democrats such as Jasmine Crockett stop referring to the president as a wannabe Hitler?
What other Democrats? You said fascists and what? What was your?
Fascists and Nazis, just common inflammatory political rhetoric.
Common, but you're not attributing it to any Democrat or any member of the Democratic caucus. I'm just trying to understand the question.
Jasmine Crockett in that example?
Jasmine Crockett didn't say fascist and Nazis, believe. Okay.
Right now, what they are trying to do is institute Nazism 2.0 in the United States. And guess what? It's going to be us that's going to be on the receiving end of all of it. So I could go on and on and on about the terrible things that are in there. But the basis of it, they're saying it has to be Christianity. And the fact is, everything has to be really Christo-fascism. And so what they're trying to do is say, if you're not doing it our way, then you can't.
And folks, we can clearly see through their lies and their charades. And it's honestly crazy that we have to constantly come out reminding them of their digital footprints and the receipts that they have left us.
Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler, all those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up and that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence.
And I'm sorry, but instead, we are not only going to punch you back, but we are going to knock you out.
I think that you punch. I think you punch. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet, for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within.
Guys, it is all too apparent with Jasmine Crockett. She's not going to stop or give it up until she's finally held accountable and removed from Congress for constantly inciting violence. And I believe Jesse Waters said it best when it comes to these radical Democrats.
Well, you're seeing a massive disinformation campaign run by the legacy media to try to detach themselves from this killer, and it's not working. We expose it immediately, and it's been debunked, and they're never going to get away with any of this stuff anymore. They are over. In terms of people, you have a right to say Charlie Kirk deserved to die. You have a right to say you're glad he died. But you don't have a right to work at this company. You don't have a right to teach my kids. You don't have a right to serve in government. You are basically telling the world you're evil. You are telling the world you can't be trusted. You are telling the world you are comfortable with cold-blooded killing. Now, Do you want someone like that sitting next to you in the office? If CNN had a producer after 9/11 that was going around saying, yep, the chickens have come home to roost, you think he'd last one day at that office? What about Irina, the Ukrainian? Could you say she had it coming? Glad she died. Or, I'm so glad Epstein got a hold of all these girls. Thank goodness. Or, you know what, the Palisades fire, that should have burned more. It's the same thing. And you would never tolerate that kind of lack of humanity with people that you are spending close proximity with, because who knows what else they're capable of. This is demonic, and they are threats to your physical safety, to your children's physical safety. And so there's nothing wrong with expelling these people from polite society. They should be banished, they should be punished, and they should be sanctioned. Evil must be confronted.
Fox News' Jesse Waters coming out hitting that nail square on the head, and you know it's getting really bad and out of hand when even Democratic leaders are coming out and shaming their own party for their awful narratives being pushed.
Don't compare him to anyone, and if you do, then you will incite somebody to say, well, now I feel like I have to stop that and take them out. People have seemed to have forgotten that the president took a shot to the head. And can you imagine if that shot would have gone the way Charlie Kirk's one, and what kind of condition our nation would be in? This is such a dangerous time right now. And now why? You don't need this an opportunity to share your opinions on it. Just, again, it's appalling. And allow folks enough space to grieve. The man hasn't even been buried yet. And it's like, that's why we wanted to have a conversation, that we have to find a way to work together.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Once again, we're seeing that Representative Jasmine Crockett proving to us why she does not belong in leadership. I mean, every single chance, look at it. When she gets an opportunity or a chance to get to that spotlight, a chance to bring our country together, unite the people, we see her putting that wedge, that divide in between you and your neighbor. And it's just something that true leaders do not do. And I'm telling you right now, it is only a matter of time before Jasmine Crockett and that big mouth of hers gets her into some serious trouble. I mean, just look at the very inflammatory statements, the dangerous rhetoric that she's been pushing surrounding the whole Charlie Kirk tragedy. It is only a matter of time before someone steps in and holds her accountable, guys. But definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.